Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony the Quano.
So, Tony, let's talk about a movie that really we haven't done a whole lot of movies that are directed and starring the same person, have we?
Come to think of it, we were talking about, this is kind of a unique movie last week, but we didn't touch on that point, and I hadn't thought about this, but you're correct.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it until I watched the movie. But yeah,
and it's not like that's a rare thing.
Like the fact that we haven't,
not common.
Yeah, definitely noticed it when we watched the movie.
Where some of the stars of it have written the screenplay.
Yes.
Like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they didn't direct that. Was Edgar Wright directed those.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So,
which means that somehow it's going to randomly start happening.
Yep.
I get it. We've done Pulp Fiction, which does have Tarantino, and Hitchcock always made a cameo in his. But we're not talking about bit roles. Like this is the lead star of this movie.
Lead star of the movie is also the director. But anyway,
how come Arnold Schwarzenegger never directed the movie?
Because he's probably a bad director. I don't know. He's a great action star. He's even a halfway decent actor sometimes, but
even the right role.
I don't know. I picture him as a very demanding director.
I could see that. Shelley!
Not quite that demanding. He's no Kubrick, but yeah.
He just starts screaming at Dominic. Dominic, you're supposed to look scared.
Dominic. Anyway, we're also doing our first full-blown, no questions about it Western. What movie is that, Tony?
That movie is the winner for the year of 1992 Best Picture, Unforgiven.
Unforgiven. And yeah, it's a movie where you kind of, it's implied. The title is more implied in this movie rather than it's outright explained.
Yes.
I mean, there are some movies where it's clear why it's called that. But
yes, like Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Mm-hmm,
I'm guessing they search for Bobby Fischer in that movie.
Yeah, or Lorenzo's Oil. It's about Lorenzo's Oil.
I was going to bring up Lorenzo's Oil a couple weeks ago, actually. Anyway. But that movie actually is about Lorenzo's Oil.
Yeah. Speaking of Lorenzo's Oil, Paul is about an alien named Paul. And there's a character played by Jason Bateman named Lorenzo Zoil in that movie.
Right there. Oh, that's right.
Lorenzo's Oil. And that's a joke for only people that really know about Lorenzo's Oil. And that's what makes it so great.
I remember Lorenzo's Oil, and this is why I was going to bring it up a few weeks ago, because George Miller actually directed that movie. Or did he write it?
That's right, he did.
No, he directed it. Yes, he directed it.
That's right. Oh,
and I remember someone gave that movie the VHS to my mom for her birthday. I don't know if she'd ever seen it, but they gave it to her. And I remember just seeing the VHS in line with all other movies I picked up. I just see Susan Sarandon on. I'm like,
Lorenzo's Oil.
What's this movie about? I don't know. I didn't put it back.
That's not about a post-apocalyptic battle for gas.
You see, there's a missed opportunity of having Susan Sarandon in Fury Road.
Actually, it makes sense. It's called Lorenzo's Oil. They were fighting over gasoline in the Mad Max movies. Uh-huh. Gasoline is made from oil.
Yes, that's true.
It makes sense that George Miller would direct both.
That was when he was looking to get the Oscar through prestige movies like that. And then finally said, you know what? I'm just going to direct the craziest action movie anyone has ever seen.
And it's awesome.
And somehow that's what got him the Oscar. But, I mean, at least the Oscar recognition, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow. But
I mean, you can't really go wrong with somebody playing an electric guitar while fire is shooting out of the pipes on the front of a dune buggy.
We should probably do Fury Road one of these days.
Probably.
But yes.
Or really any of the Mad Max movies.
And then Mad Max. Okay, let's do Mad Max. Right? There's an example of a movie that is named after its star,
mm-hmm.
or the
character. Yeah.
Yes, the character, Mad Max. Right? Or the location, like we did Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was a location where the movie took place, so you name it after Jurassic Park. Right? Lincoln.
Yep.
It's about Abraham Lincoln. There you go.
Not about Lincoln, Nebraska.
No. Sorry, Alexander Payne did not direct that movie.
Okay.
And he would have called it Omaha because he was from Omaha.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, true. He would have.
And some movies are more about the theme. In this movie, it's about the theme. And, it grapples with a lot of themes. And it's maybe our first pure Western movie.
Yeah. I mean, because before this, we did Cowboys and Aliens, which is a Western, but there's aliens in there. So it's not your traditional Western.
Yes. And we did City Slickers.
We did City Slickers, which is a more modern Western.
Yes.
And yeah, it's a comedy. It's city folk going out west to a cattle drive. And we did No Country for Old Men, which is more of a modern Western.
Modern Western
Not
as
your
well.
classic Western.
No. You kind of had, Star Wars, especially, New Hope, had always kind of had some of those, kind of Western serial themes from the 1940s, but not the same thing.
It's like a space Western.
Yes. But here we go with one of the most classic genres, the Western, right? Which we really haven't done a lot of. And obviously we've got Clint Eastwood, who is synonymous with Westerns.
Yep.
And is probably one of the most famous.
Wait a second. So this movie has Mr. Eastwood in it?
Hey, there's another one we've done, Back to the Future.
Yes, true. Back to the Future 3.
But also not really a classic Western. It leans heavily into the Western stereotypes and the time out of place, people out of place in time.
This one has the real Mr. Eastwood.
Yes. And he's one of the most famous of the actor turned directors that have been, there's others that have done it, but he's probably one of the most prolific of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we thought it was time to do a Western. And time to do Clint Eastwood. I mean,
Clint Eastwood. I mean, we've gone almost 150 episodes and we have not done a Clint Eastwood movie yet.
That is kind of crazy.
We've had Jack Palance, we've had Charlton Heston, but we have not had Clint Eastwood.
We've not had Clint Eastwood.
I mean, we had Marty McFly posing as Clint Eastwood, but we've not had a true Clint Eastwood.
Right? We had John Wayne, but John Wayne's a much older classic actor. We do more recent movies, but
we may do a John Wayne movie sometime.
We do John Wayne movie. But yes, this is Best Picture for the year 1992. Clint Eastwood also won Best Director that year. And the movie also won Best Supporting Actor for another favorite actor of ours, Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman was great in this movie.
And he is awesome.
He was great in this movie.
He earns his Oscar.
Chewed up that scenery in this movie. Like he owned that role.
But there's so much about it. He chews it up, but then there's moments where he's just like silent, and you look at his eyes, and like, damn.
Yeah. And Morgan Freeman was Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman is.
There's nothing wrong with Morgan Freeman being Morgan Freeman because Morgan Freeman is awesome.
Yes. A little while since we've done a Morgan Freeman movie, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
We also get Richard Harris in this movie as well.
Yes, we do. We haven't done a Richard Harris movie since we did Gladiator.
That's right.
Also a long time ago.
And it's funny, in this movie, he doesn't even share a scene with Clint Eastwood. He shares scenes with Gene Hackman.
Yes, he shares scenes with Gene Hackman. Yeah, I guess he doesn't share a scene with Clint Eastwood.
No, he rides out of town well before that. But I'm glad we did this one because it's interesting. I was watching this and maybe it's because I just Odyssey's out right now and I just kept kind of comparing the two of them in a lot of ways and like how they deal with myth and hero. Well, quote unquote heroes, right? And there's really no hero in this movie. There is a protagonist and an antagonist, but this is a movie that's definitely deconstructing the myth of the Western. And it's appropriate because when this came out, it was like you said, this is 1992. How old was Clint Eastwood when he
Eastwood?
So he was born in 1930.
So he would have been 62 when this came out. He would have been
62 when this came out. Figures 61. He had been 60 when this movie. He was starting to produce this movie and direct this movie. Which again would obviously be, This is also 1992. So if you think about it, this is over 20 years since the Man with No Name trilogy was out, and kind of his peak of kind of his westerns in the late 60s and early mid 70s, right? So obviously, you're not going to look at him as being like the typical kind of western hero, right?
Yeah.
But he's just this, he's just a symbol of this broken down kind of Western outlaw, right? Because in the movie, he doesn't even play kind of like what you would think of as a classic Western hero, right?
No.
He was an outlaw.
Yeah. A retired outlaw.
Retired, yes. But just, it deals with kind of those effects. And the movie itself is almost kind of like it's just this storybook, almost not a story, maybe not storybook, like, but the way it is, kind of look into kind of that Western culture, so to speak, and breaking it down. And there's even a writer in this movie that is supposed to be like writing bits about all these Western outlaws and what they've done. Yeah. Right?
W. Beauchamp is his name.
Yes.
Yeah, this movie has
it's Duck. Actually, it's Duke.
No. But his name's not Duck.
No.
He talks about Duck.
That's right. Beauchamp. Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie has some pretty classic Western names in it.
It does.
By the way, even the characters' name
is Money.
Yeah.
Munny.
You got Little Bill, Little Bill Daggett. You got English Bob. You got the Schofield Kid, W. Beauchamp, Strawberry Alice, Quick Mike, Skinny Dubois.
As opposed to Obese Dubois.
Yeah. Corpulent Dubois.
Orchids Dubois.
I mean, Muddy Chandler.
Muddy Chandler.
German Joe Schultz. Here we go. Fatty Rossiter. Eggs Anderson. I mean, Texas Slim.
Crow Creek Kate.
Wiggins. Yeah, I mean, you have some great names in this movie.
Yes.
That can only come out of the Old West.
By the way, this movie was also written by David Peoples, who wrote Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Which we do want to do one of these days.
Yes, we will do one of these days.
Yeah. But this is your first time watching this, right?
This is my first time watching this. I actually just watched this one yesterday.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
And it was quite different than I thought it would be. I expected more violence.
Okay. The funny thing is, like, it's a violent movie.
There are a few scenes that are rather violent, but like the movie as a whole really isn't that violent.
The movie is like, when the violence comes, it's brutal though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not super violent, like you said. Not that there's not violence in this. This movie definitely earns its R rating.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I it was different than I thought it would be. I expected it to be more like the typical Clint Eastwood movies that I've seen. You know, where he just starts out just a badass that rolls into town and does his business.
Yes.
You know, but this one,
but he's weary in this movie.
He's sort of a slow burn in this movie. I mean, you know from the start that he's a badass. He's just not showing it.
Yes. But yeah, he's weary, but he'll work up to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He's old. It kicks into gear, and it kicks into gear at the end.
Yep. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. We won't go into any more about that because it's a spoiler.
But yeah, I mean, there's other, it's probably like 2/3 in the movie before like a gun is even shot at anyone.
Yeah.
There are violent scenes before that, but I mean,
it starts out with some violence, but
a very different type of violence.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like my third time watching it, and there's still a lot to unravel in it because it is different than what you expect from, again, the classic Western.
Mm-hmm. And I can totally see how it won Best Picture.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the the music is beautiful in it,
Oh, yeah.
and it's beautifully shot. This production, and again, like I said, the acting is top notch, and because it is unconventional in a way, like I think it speaks a bit towards kind of some of the Academy sentiments.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting run that they had with that because they had the year before was Silence of the Lambs, which is a very violent movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And then there was this, and then the year after this, Schindler's List won,
Yeah.
which is probably why they wanted something a little bit more hopeful and gave the Oscar to Forrest Gump the year after that.
Yeah.
They did have Shawshank. They did have Shawshank. They could have given it to Shawshank.
They could have, but
Pulp Fiction was also nominated that year. They could have, but I think they had enough of the R-rated.
Yeah, so they went Forrest Gump, which was probably, I mean, it was the safe choice.
Yes.
I've never been a huge fan of Forrest Gump. I know you love that movie, but I've never been a huge fan of it. And I know I've said that on this podcast before, but it's been a while.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm not opposed to discussing it one of these days on the podcast if you really want to.
Hey, no, well, it depends on what happens. If Gary Sinise was to die, we could probably do Apollo 13.
Probably.
And there's plenty of other Tom Hanks movies to choose from.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about, actors dying because we don't want it to actually happen. So we don't want to jinx ourselves. Because we've had way too many die this year.
we have. So, yeah, this is, like I said, I think this is my third time watching this, and it's a movie I'm continuing to unpack because there's a lot to think about with this movie.
There is,
and what it's trying to say.
Yeah.
And even the ending. I was just reading this earlier today, and we can get to it later. There's stuff about the ending that I realized that was changed a bit.
Well, go ahead and spell it out right now before we get into the spoiler warning.
Oh, we're not going to spoil that part right now. But we could just jump into the movie.
We could, but first, before we do, you mentioned the music. The composer for this was Lenny Niehaus. Or Niehaus?
Yes, I saw that name yesterday.
He did a great job with this movie.
He did.
Also,
he's a musician. Well, obviously he's a musician, but
yeah. Also, I mean, the cinematography in this movie was fantastic.
Yes.
It was, I mean, it's a Western, so you're going to have a bunch of, sweeping landscapes and all that. But yeah, I mean,
I think the reason why I was really interested
Jack Green was the cinematographer.
This was not nominated for best score. I was like, what? Because I heard I thought it was beautiful. I thought it'd be like a really popular name within scores, and it's not, like you said.
Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah.
Here we go.
The music was fantastic. The cinematography was beautiful.
Editing was the other award that won. But yeah, the cinematography was, like I said, Jack Green. The sound. Clint Eastwood was nominated for Best Actor for this. But yeah, Lenny Niehaus, who was a saxophonist by trade, and so when I say the musicians, he wasn't necessarily a composer. He was a musician that they got to score the music.
Yeah.
Right. So then he did compose things, but he's not like a John Williams or Newton or Howard or some of these more famous musical composers that are primarily just composers.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, the music is just um sometimes like there's almost no music, and but they know how to put in like the
Yeah.
guitar at the right places. It's just really well thought out. Like obviously, I think Clint Eastwood obviously probably worked a lot to know like where he wanted the music to be
Mm-hmm.
and the tone he needed for it,
Yeah.
right? Interesting enough, this movie, since we're talking about the cinematography, the film itself was mostly shot up in Canada, in Alberta.
Hmm. Really? I mean,
Which I mean, there are several scenes where we see snow in this
I guess
movie.
that kind of fits though, because
Yeah.
I mean, Clint Eastwood is known for spaghetti westerns, which were filmed out in Italy
Yes.
and not in America, even though they take place in America. And technically, Canada is part of North America, but it's not the United States of America where the Old West was and where
So
the modern West is. But
I'm glad we brought up Jack Green, the cinematographer, though, right? Because I guess he worked a lot with Eastwood. Bird, Heartbreak Ridge, Deadpool, Bridges of Madison County, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. But some of his other films, like I was looking at he shot Hot Tub Time Machine. He also shot Secondhand Lions.
which that movie, I was surprised at how much I liked that movie.
He also shot Speed 2 Cruise Control and Twister. He shot The Net. He shot Pink Cadillac. And he shot Rookie of the Year.
Oh, there we go. Rookie of the Year.
But yeah, there's some lovely shots here, and like they find the perfect way to frame a lot of them, and even just the composition sometimes between the characters and where they're set up. So yeah, from a technical standpoint, also a very well done movie.
Yes. Now back to Rookie of the Year real quick.
Okay, yes.
Where else are you going to find Gary Busey and Daniel Stern starring in a movie together?
Uh, I don't know. Is there one
I
that you
don't
know
think
of?
so. I don't think so. I mean, that's a pairing that you wouldn't really think would work, but it does.
It could be, they could make a movie about Gary Busey's life and call it The Cocaine Years.
You could, starring Jake
Daniel
Busey.
Stern would narrate. Daniel Stern would narrate it.
Wonder Year style.
At the end, all have some, like it'd be kind of like, again, like The Wonder Years and other movies like other shows like Scrubs and How I Met
Uh-huh.
Your Mother, or
Uh-huh.
there's a point where it's like also about life.
Yep.
And it
Now,
kind of hits you,
in
it's funny and all.
in that particular movie, I know we've talked about, back when we were talking about Point Break, how, Gary Busey's biopic should star Jake Busey, his son.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for the Cocaine Years, I'm thinking if Daniel Stern is narrating, the only actor that could play the young Gary Busey there is Fred Savage.
Yes.
You got to reunite him. You got to reunite Fred Savage and Daniel Stern.
Who knew our episode on Unforgiven would lead us there?
I don't know, but somebody has to make that movie. Anyway, back to Unforgiven.
No cocaine in this movie.
Nope.
Plenty of whiskey.
Plenty of whiskey.
Plenty of outhouses and people pooping.
Yep.
Not to spoil it, but there might be, a death involved with a toilet like Jurassic Park.
There might be, but there's no T-Rex. So, I mean,
You can't really top that. Toilet, lawyer, T-Rex, go.
And the crazy thing is, he wasn't even pooping.
No, he was just hiding.
He was hiding.
I mean, Grant, he might have actually pooped.
Was he expecting the T-Rex to, open the bathroom door and very, gently walk in there and knock on the stall door? Especially when it's like a tiki bathroom.
Maybe we brought this up during our Jurassic Park episode. I don't remember. I've just always wondered, like, these cars they're automated, but like those bathrooms look like they're supposed to be public bathrooms for people in the park to use.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if they want to stop those cars, like, hey, want this T-Rex out here eat a goat? I gotta poop.
Yeah,
can we stop?
And
like, what was the park's thought about the bathroom placement there?
I can tell you for a fact we did not bring that up in the episode for Jurassic Park because I've never thought of that before. That's a brilliant point. I mean, maybe they're not for public use. Maybe they're for staff. Or maybe, when the Jeeps when the park explorers are stopped watching the T-Rex eat a goat, if somebody needs to go, maybe, they have a few minutes to be able to hop out of the car and go to the bathroom. As long as they make it back before the cars start up again.
They got a long walk, and hopefully, once they cross the lava doors paddock, they don't look too closely through the electrified fence that has nothing to stop them spitting through it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And don't even get me started on the fact that there's a scientist who uses a wooden stick, to test whether or not an electric fence is turned on.
Hey, he deals with fossils. And he's very anti-tech.
But he should still know the basic principles of wood and electricity. Now, wood is not a good conductor of electricity.
Makes me also think, like, they never, like, the Dilophosaurs is like a key point of the first movie. They just completely ignore them for the rest of the series.
Yep, they do. Because I mean, after the first movie, they had to introduce all the other dinosaurs.
That's true. Anyway,
because I mean, compies aren't in the first movie; they're in the first book, but they're not in the first movie. And Stegosauruses aren't in the first movie.
Make sense for the park.
Ankylosauruses, Allosauruses, Carnotaurus, all those are not in the first movie.
Nope. That is true. We don't really get to see the Triceratops a whole lot again. I mean, I guess in the most recent one, we get Triceratops again. Yep. Little baby Triceratops.
Yep.
Let's see. This is Triceratops is in Jurassic World too. That the kids ride on.
The kids
they ride on the baby,
riding baby Triceratops.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Unforgiven.
Back to Unforgiven.
Sorry, Mr. Eastwood.
I'm kind of surprised that we were able to get into a dinosaur conversation over a Western.
You see, you thought this episode was going to be a shorter one. And here we are, just talking about dinosaurs. Which, I mean, granted, A lot of their bones were discovered in the West.
Yes, true. True. That's a very good point. So before we get into the episode, are there any more tangents you want to go on?
No. And I think we brought up, like, I'm glad he brought up the music and our composer, and we brought up the cinematography. And yeah, again, Clint Eastwood, he didn't win Best Actor. He hasn't won Best Actor Oscar. He's won 2 Best Director. He won later for $1 Million Baby.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
but he was great in this movie.
He was
definitely worthy of the nomination.
And yeah, I mean, you can see why he won Best Director too. Like, he had a vision, he stuck with it, and it comes across. And it's not a movie it's got some memorable dialogue in it, but it's not. Well, Gene Hackman has a lot of dialogue in this.
Yes, Gene Hackman is talkative in this movie,
and Richard Harris is talkative in this movie also.
But he's also British, so
yes. But again, it's more plot carried, and it wants you to kind of think about things, such as how Gene Hackman is a crappy carpenter. Apparently, that's not too big of a spoiler.
No, but we'll get to it.
But that's all I have to say there before we actually start talking about the movie.
All right, well, let's start talking about this movie. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about this entire movie beginning, middle, and end. So if you have not seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, pause the podcast, watch the movie, come back and listen. If you have seen it or you just don't mind being spoiled, keep on listening. But we are going to be spoiling everything about this movie and everything about Gene Hackman's lack of carpentry skills in this movie.
That's right.
Maybe not everything about that, but we're going to talk about it. So, anywho, we didn't even mention, like, beforehand, before the spoiler warning, we didn't mention some of the names that are in this movie. Like,
no, we haven't.
We mentioned the character names, but not the actors' names. We got some pretty big names in this movie. We got Clint Eastwood, obviously. We got Gene Hackman, which we've said. We have Morgan Freeman.
Mm-hmm. We have Richard Harris, like we said, but we have Francis Fisher, Saul Rubinek. We have Jamie Worldet as well. Ron White, not the comedian Ron White.
No, not that Ron White.
Shane Meyer, Lachlan Monroe's in this.
Yes, he is. We talked about him.
We talked about a few weeks ago.
Yeah. We talked about Scary Movie. He's really only in one scene, but yeah, he's in it.
Yes. Texas Slim. Talk about classic Western names. He had one of them in this one. And it's really, again, it's not a huge cast. It's got multiple characters that kind of come in for like one scene that have like a couple lines.
Yeah.
It's not one of those ones that's only like, under a dozen people, but still, the main cast is pretty small.
I mean, it really only follows regularly throughout the movie like 8 to 10 people.
Yeah, it's about right. So, and it's really only, it only has a few different settings. I mean, a couple of the characters kind of wander a good bit throughout it, but it's really one main setting, and then kind of some outlying areas of it. So, which is also getting very Western-like, being in a very small town and kind of dealing with that. So,
yeah.
But how the movie begins with some of that beautiful cinematography, right?
Yes,
we have these silhouettes. You have this old tree on the right. On the left is this kind of smallish house. Looks like it's at like sunset. And there's a grave, and you can see someone's digging this grave, right?
And then you get words
a voiceover
on the screen.
Not even voiceover. That's right. It's just words.
It's words.
You just
read.
read.
Voiceover. You have to know how to read to watch the beginning of this movie.
It's like watching the beginning of Star Wars.
And spoiler alert, you got to learn how to read to watch the end of the movie too. So, because there's words at the end also. But
I was thinking about that the other day.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the vast majority of people who are listening to this podcast know how to read.
Yeah, I mean, if you're showing this to a 5-year-old, they're going to have to read the beginning of the movie for them, and then you're going to have a lot of other explaining about different things. But yeah, don't show this to a 5-year-old. This
I mean,
anyone.
you could if you wanted to, if you're okay with them seeing certain things.
But so this is what we read. She was a comely young woman, not without prospects. Therefore, it was heartbreaking to her mother that she would enter into marriage with William Money, a known thief and murderer, a man of notorious, vicious, and intemperate disposition. When she died, it was not by his hands, as her mother might have expected, but of smallpox. That was 1878. Right. And then we cut from that, and we're kind of, now we can see we're kind of at this small house, and it's daytime.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brighter, right?
And we find out
we have
shortly after this that this is 3 years later.
Yes.
After his wife died.
And we have Mr. Money here, Clint Eastwood, right? And he's got 2 children that he had with his wife, a boy and a girl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Will and Money and Penny Money.
What? Probably something like 10 and 8.
Something like that.
Around those ages.
Something
Not
like
too
that.
old, right? Young, which you kind of think about for Clint Eastwood if he was 60 at this time. Mm-hmm. You start thinking about that. Because he looks more like the grandfather than their father.
Yep. But he is a pig farmer now.
He is a pig farmer. Very appropriate because we just talked about James Cromwell, who is not a pig farmer, but actually had a pig on his farm.
Yes. And the pig that James Cromwell had on his farm was nowhere near the size of these pigs.
No, these are definitely adult pigs. And, he's a pig farmer, but he doesn't look to be a very successful pig farmer. Mm-hmm. He has trouble with these pigs. Right? Or do we cut straight to there, or do we cut first to the town? No, we cut to the town first before we cut to the pig farm.
Yes, we do.
That's right. So this is not big. This is not a big deal.
We get the little message while he's digging the grave.
We get the message, and setting up kind of where Money is fine and do here. It doesn't really kind of offset anything.
To the saloon/brothel.
Yep, and it's this town in Wyoming, right? Small town, basically 1 block. Classic Old West looking town, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got a saloon, you got the sheriff's office, a barber, a little motel, right? Not a whole lot to this town, right? And in this brothel, the first thing we cut to is this guy just getting some.
He's just going to town with this with this prostitute. Just yeah.
But then we hear this screaming.
They're both more or less fully clothed.
Yes.
But certain parts aren't clothed. But yeah. They're making the bed creak.
Which is a common thing happening here, right? Mm-hmm. Again, it's the Old West.
They're fun doing.
But then there's some screaming from the other room.
Yep.
Right?
And happy screaming.
They interrupt their process of cheese and chocolate and red wine and the like.
Yeah. And they run over to the other room next door. And
we see this other
guy has
there's got to be the guy we saw here is just an average sized guy.
I mean, maybe a little bit on the smaller side, really.
His friend, he's a much bigger guy, a little rougher looking, right? And he is slapping this woman
around, and he's completely butt naked. But it's shadowy. It's dark in there, so
it's dark. Again, it's at nighttime.
Yeah.
There's no electricity. Everything here is just lit by lamplight, right? Gaslight.
Yeah. You don't get anything in your face or anything like that, but
this is not like Robin Williams in The Fisher King, where it's there.
Yeah, no, you get it's shadowy. But yeah, so then after he hits this woman a few times, and he pulls out this big knife.
Yep. He's like, hey, you got to hold down. I got to cut her.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guy decides to do it. Foolishly decides to do it.
Mm-hmm. And so
he does it.
And he just starts swinging this knife and just cutting her all up.
But then the rest of the brothels ladies come in, and they come out, and they're like finally all like restrain these two guys, right? And that's when, so they bring him down to the bottom, because the brothel's upstairs and they had the saloon on the bottom,
mm-hmm.
right? And so they're there at the saloon on, and by the bar, and the sheriff comes in.
The sheriff, Little Bill Daggett.
Little Bill Daggett, played by Gene Hackman, right? And let me get some of the names that are in here since we need to talk about that. So the proprietor of this place is Skinny Dubois, Anthony James, right? And that's like these ladies are saying, you gotta get Skinny. Mm-hmm. He needs to get the sheriff, right?
Yeah, I guess it's Skinny that stopped the attack.
That's right.
Yeah, because the woman went and got Skinny, and Skinny came in and put a gun to the guy's head and told him to stop.
Yeah, that's what it was. Guns will do that.
Yeah,
especially
that's what the dude gets for bringing a knife to a gunfight.
That's right. So, and one of the main people that's there, that's kind of the lead, or the kind of the queen, the mother of the ladies there, is Strawberry Alice,
played by Frances Fisher.
And the one that just got cut up is Delilah, played by Emma Thompson. Right, and there's probably about half dozen other of these women, right? And so, right, we're down there. They're tied up there in the saloon, and that's when we get Little Bill come in.
Now, it was very generous of them to allow the dude to get dressed before they took him downstairs.
Yes.
I mean, the other guy just had his pants pulled down a little bit, so he could easily pull them back up. But the dude doing the cutting, he was completely naked. So it was very nice of them to let him get dressed.
Mm-hmm. So when Little Bill comes in, he decides, first he goes in, he sees how Delilah's doing, right? Alice is like, oh, she's all cut up, like no one's gonna want her anymore, right? Like, I think I was like, come on, like they're paying. It's dimly lit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and really, when you see her later, she's not that cut up.
No, she's not. Yeah, and she's attractive.
Yeah.
Right? Not that Chef's magic bag of love can. Anyway. But Little Bill's like, thing about Little Bill is like, you just wants to make sure, like, oh, she's not going to die. Right?
Yeah.
And, and we find out that what happened was that she laughed when she saw this dude's little pee-pee.
Yep. And that's why he set him off.
He tried to say that she was trying to steal his money. No, she was just laughing at his little pee-pee.
And it wasn't even laughing. She just like chuckled a little bit. She let a little chuckle sneak out.
Like one of those chuckles that happens when you see something that you're not quite expecting to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she wasn't necessarily laughing. Ha, you have a little dick. But it was just, she was surprised by it and chuckled a little bit.
Yeah. And so now they're down there, and Skinny's like, well, I could definitely put her to work. I mean, I can still use her. She could, work, right? She could, be like a maid, or walk around the bar a little bit. But like, ain't no one gonna want her, right? And he's concerned he needs to get recouped for potential money loss, right? because he, obviously he's getting his, he's the pimp, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe she was anyway. Yeah, but yeah, so he's kind of worried about lost income,
Yeah.
right? And
So
Bill doesn't seem too concerned about physically punishing these guys.
no, rather he sees more of a financial punishment. So he goes to the bigger of the two guys. Are these guys Davy Bunting and Quick Mike?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So I don't know which is which. I would think that Quick Mike's probably the guy that did the cutting.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, played by David Mucci, and Davy Bunting was played by Rob Campbell. But anyway,
Okay.
so he goes to Quick Mike, and Bill asked him, "How many horses do you have? How many ponies do you have?" And Quick Mike is like, "I got 6." And he goes to Davy, and he's like, "How many ponies do you have?" He's like, "I got 4." So all right, you pointed Quick Mike. He's like, "You're going to give this man 5 of your ponies. And you, Davy, you're going to give him 2 of your ponies as restitution for what you did to his girl."
And the ladies also, they're like, what? You're not going to beat them at least? Right? And he's like, no. Like, we recover the money for that, and so now they're incensed about this, right? They're gonna have to, they have a certain time where they're supposed to bring the ponies over, the horses over as their
Yeah,
restitution.
they've got like 30 days or something like that to get them to him.
Which is really pretty lenient.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is,
also,
given how severe he is about other things in this movie.
And also judging by how far away people lived from each other back in this time and how long it took to get somewhere. I mean,
yeah.
It may take him a week or 2 to ride there.
Yes.
So basically, if it was a 2-week ride, then they're basically saying, go home, get the horses, and turn around and come right back.
Yep. So, but the girls are not going to stand for this. So, we get a scene with them. They're all in one of the rooms. And Alice is like, all right. She goes around asking all the different girls how much money they have. And one of them says, I owe $300. She's like, what are you doing? She's like, I got my secrets. But they decide that they're going to offer a $1,000 reward for someone that will kill.
They're putting a bounty on these guys' heads.
Bounty law.
Bounty law. Oh, there should be a bounty law. Just like county law.
Yeah.
County law. Bye, sister. Oh, it's been a while since we mentioned county law.
It has been.
If you have not already, go to YouTube after you're done listening to this episode.
Yes.
And just search for county law.
Yeah. Please finish listening to us first. Anyway, so there's a setup, right? A bounty on these two guys, right? And now we cut back to William Money. So he lives in Kansas.
Yes.
He lives in western Kansas.
He lives in Kansas, which is a state that is not featured in too many movies.
No, it's not.
It's featured in several westerns.
Yeah,
because it was pretty big in the Old West. But
yes.
after the West became modern, it stopped being.
I mean, Dodge City, man.
Yeah.
A movie about Brown versus Board of Education could be set in Kansas.
Yes, because that was in Topeka, Kansas.
You could set a movie about Boeing in Kansas.
The movie In Cold Blood takes place in Kansas.
Whereas you had a road trip movie like Dumb and Dumber, but they don't go through Kansas. They go through Nebraska.
Yep.
Not a lot of
Yep.
movies take place in Nebraska either. That was so.
But one thing that movie did reveal when it was going through Nebraska was that John Denver is full of shit.
And granted, you really, if you're driving from the East Coast to Denver, like you can either go through Nebraska or you go through Kansas.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Both are similar drives.
Anyhow,
As someone who has driven all the way through Kansas. Yeah.
It's a steady climb.
Very similar drives.
Of openness.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Anyhow, so yeah. So we're in Kansas. And yeah, like you said, he's a pig farmer. And so, you know, some of these pigs have a fever. We hear that. And again, you can see he's not the most successful of a pig farmer. Like he finds it hard work, right?
Good thing he's got his 2 tiny children to help him.
And then as he's working one of these days, excuse me, he hears his voice. You ain't look nothing like a rootin' tootin' son of a bitch. And he looks over and there's this youngish guy there. Right? And he's talking about how his uncle told him all about him.
Can't be older than like 16.
Yeah. No, like, no, yeah. So, the original screenplay, I'm looking at this, just calls him the kid, right? They don't even call him the Schofield kid yet in the screenplay, just the kid, right? Right? And he's like, you know, and he keeps going in about how, he just keeps asking about, are the same guy that, you know, killed Charlie Pepper and did this and that, right? It's like, yeah, it was me back in, you know, the old days, right? Like, you know, and again, he's going through him as these legends, as these stories have been told to him from like his uncle or, you know, whoever it might be.
Yeah, and so Clint Eastwood, you know, Bill Money, he asked him, he asked him what his name is, and he's like, people call me the Schofield Kid.
I like he's like, oh, people call me the Schofield Kid.
He's like, oh, is that, are you a Schofield? It's like, no, it's on account of this. He pulls out his gun. He's like, because I use this Schofield revolver. He's like, okay. Clint Eastwood's clearly not impressed.
I've killed men with this. But he's willing to indulge him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not threatening him at all now, right?
No.
So he obviously tell him he's trying to impress him, actually.
Yeah.
Not doing a terribly good job at it.
Nope. But it reminds me of, if anyone has seen The Mandalorian, which several people have. It's a very popular show on Disney Plus. But the episode in season 1, The Gunslinger, it reminds me of that up and coming bounty hunter.
Yeah.
That the Mandalorian runs into.
I see that.
The Schofield Kid reminds me a lot of him.
I can see that. That's a good one. So eventually, you know, he invites him into his house, and they're there just kind of talking at the little kitchen table they have. The Schofield Kid is like, he needs help collecting this bounty. That he's going to split with him. And he talks about how these guys cut this woman, this prostitute up.
Mm-hmm. They
not
cut
just her face.
They even cut her titties.
It's like, ooh. And then, but, you know, the more he thinks about it, it's like, you know, but like, he is weary. Like, you can tell it's part of him
that's a good word. That's a good word to describe him in this movie. He's weary. He's lived a life, and he is weary from his life.
you see something in his eyes about this, right? So like you could tell, right? Like he fell in love, like John Wick.
Mm-hmm. And he gave up his life of crime.
Yep. And instead of getting a puppy, he got some kids.
Yep.
And then she died.
And pigs. And
right. And he's trying to be the best father he can be for these kids, and trying to raise them morally to the standards that his wife would have liked or wanted.
I mean, before this, he was a thief and a murderer. And then, he got some pigs after he met his wife and had some kids and gave up that life.
And you can see there's a thing in his
wife even helped him to get sober.
That's right. That comes in later. But yeah, so he's clean cut now. He doesn't have a razor to be clean shaven, but he's clean cut.
Mm-hmm.
And but there's also a glimmer in his eyes. Like there's something about those stories about him that he still that he takes some pride in. But like he also thinks like, where has it really gotten him?
Yeah.
Right. He settled down here and his wife still died. There's a smallpox.
Yeah.
And he's struggling to, help his kids with farming pigs.
Yeah. So Schofield is like, but these women have put up $1,000 bounty on these two guys.
And we could split it.
And we can split it 50-50. 500 for you, 500 for me. And, he thinks about it. Money thinks about it a little bit. And he passes. He turns it down. He's like, no, I have this life. I have the kids. I gotta stay true to my wife. God rest her soul. And
yep.
And so Schofield gets up. He goes to leave. He's like, hey, I'm gonna be riding this direction. I'm gonna be heading on the path west. Then I'm gonna head north. If you change your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, due west to the Western Trail. Right. Yep. Right. And then he leaves, and then next thing we see it's money is in the pig pen, and his son and Penny there are watching him trying to be these pigs. Yeah, and he's like, I think two of these have the fever too.
Yeah, because he's got to separate the pigs because some of them are sick, some of them aren't, and so he's got to separate the sick ones from the healthy ones, and his kids are struggling to do that. So he goes out to help them. Because the pigs are bigger than the kids are. And so, he goes out and he's trying to push this pig aside, and he slips and he falls right into a pile of pig crap. It's like the ground in this pig pen is just covered in crap and mud and whatnot.
That's actually important that he falls in this, by the way.
Mm-hmm. But he falls.
They have a fever.
He falls face first in this stuff.
Yeah. And so he's just laying down there, and he looks out, and he can just still see the Schofield kid out there on the horizon. Right. And then we kind of cut to it, and we see him getting his rifle. Right. And and then he's packing up, and he's got some instructions. It's like, says, okay, we got some food here. There's this. If you need to, you can kill some of the chickens. Right. If you have to, you go into town and speak to this person. Right. They'll help you out. But I should be back in a few weeks. He's leaving his 10-year-old and 8-year-old kid alone.
But hey, this is all it was. This is how they did things. They didn't get a babysitter.
Nope. He's leaving, and then Penny looks up at her brother's like, the Pa used to kill people. Right. And so we cut back to the town, and now the smaller the guys is Davy, we said? The Davy.
Yeah.
Has brought in the horses to the deputies.
Well, they both brought the horses. They're both riding into town.
That's right.
They've got a bunch of horses behind them.
Yep.
And So, but they both have, so Quick Mike has 5 horses like he's supposed to, and Davy has 3 horses instead of 2.
That's right. Yes,
in addition to the ones that they're riding. So
because he thought Delilah might want one.
Basically, each of them brought all of their horses because they're riding one, and then they got the others that they brought to give to Skinny Dubois.
Mm-hmm.
And so they hand him over, and Davy still has one. And little Bill is like, okay, give me that one. Give me the last one. He's like, no, this one is for you. This one is for Delilah. Because she got cut up. So then, Skinny starts going on and on about how Delilah doesn't need a horse. And even though Delilah's sitting back there, she's looking like, what? I could use a horse.
Delilah's a really interesting character in this movie.
She's looking like she.
I think she.
Yeah, she wouldn't mind being given a horse.
She might be the most moral of any of the characters in this movie.
Yes, absolutely. She really could be.
You look at her; she doesn't seem to want the revenge that the other ladies want.
No, I mean,
this. She's the one that
whole revenge plot
was violated.
Yeah, the whole revenge plot about this is spearheaded by Strawberry Alice.
Yes, because then Dubois comes up to her, not long after this scene right here, finds out about the bounty. Right? He's like, if you don't have the money, you're just gonna fuck them instead, right?
Yeah.
And
are you gonna give them 1,000 lays?
But Delilah's always silent through this. Like, she's always silent. Everyone's always trying to speak for her, and she will talk for herself later in this movie.
In a very important conversation.
Very important conversation. Davy's an interesting one too, because he's definitely guilty of stuff here, but not in the same way as Mike. But the bounty still goes on his head, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. But yeah, and she's just standing there, and I think she's somewhat kind of moved by the sentiment that he's trying to offer extra pony as kind of an atonement.
Because clearly Davy was not in agreement with Quick Mike earlier. He did go along with him because they're buddies.
Yes,
but he did not condone his actions.
He chose bad company, right?
But yeah,
so
he's trying to make amends with Delilah by giving her a pony, and everybody else is trying to speak for Delilah, and then all of the women start throwing horse crap at him.
Yep.
Until the 2 guys ride off out of town. Along with the horse that Davy brought for Delilah.
So after they brought the horses and, they throw, they ride them out of town, Skinny is going to go and meet with Little Bill. Little Bill is building a house outside of town, right? Kind of near a lake.
Yep.
And he's up on the kind of the roof of the porch, and he's hammering away. And he comes there. He kind of smacks his finger with a hammer as Skinny's coming up, right? And Skinny starts talking to him. He's like, there's whores, right? We gotta tell you, they're fucking everybody that's coming in, right? And everyone that comes in that they're having sex with, right? They're telling about this bounty. And this gets Bill's attention, right? Because he's really intent on building this house. Because he wants to sit on that porch with his pipe and coffee.
Yep.
Under the moonlight.
That porch that he hasn't built yet.
Yep. But that's his dream. He's going to build this house. He's going to have a porch, and he can smoke his pipe drink his coffee, right, and look at the stars, or look at the sunrise in the morning,
Yep.
right? That's his dream. What a nice little dream. You're thinking
Yeah.
like, here's this nice lawman that wants to build a house and enjoy nature.
I mean, nice is a stretch, but yeah.
as we'll discover,
As we've already
might have.
discovered.
But yeah, this gets his attention that when he finds out that they've put a bounty on the heads, because he does not want no rootin' tootin' gunslingers coming through his town shooting people up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to happen in his town.
Nope, not in his town.
Right? But we cut from them, right? So there's that setting. And we cut back to money. And now he hasn't found the Schofield kid. He goes and finds an old friend of his.
He goes with his old friend,
God.
Ned Logan, played by God himself.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Bruce Almighty won't come out for another 11 years.
No. Played by Morgan Freeman, who played God in Bruce Almighty, and Evan Almighty.
Yes. Played Red in Shawshank Redemption.
So we definitely
watched the movie, and all of a sudden Morgan Freeman shows up. Good things might happen.
Yeah. He also helped Andy Dufresne build the pneumatic tube system for Batman.
For Batman, exactly. Which we have not talked about that pneumatic tube system in a while. Somehow, some way. There are no pneumatic tubes in this movie somehow.
No,
that not. We know of.
Because pneumatic tubes haven't been invented yet.
I guarantee Morgan Freeman's helping to work that out with Andy Dufresne.
Yep.
But yeah, Morgan Freeman is, again, he is another old cowboy that has settled down. Right? And he has a woman as well. We don't know if she has completely tamed him in the same way. We know it doesn't say anything about that. She doesn't really even speak in this movie.
Nope.
Sally Two Trees, right? But no. Bunny sits down with Ned and gives him the same story this Caulfield kid gave him. About these guys and the bounty.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
How they cut up this girl's titties.
And he's like, we'll try to go 3 ways, and if not, then you and I will just split my share. Right?
Yeah. Because, I mean, Money doesn't want to go anywhere without Ned. He doesn't want to go, because Ned's his old partner.
And he trusts him.
He trusts him. He trusts him with his life. And, I mean, that's it's hard to find somebody that you can trust with your life in the Old West.
You think?
And he clearly doesn't trust Schofield.
No. And he doesn't know who's going to be in this town when he gets there.
Yeah. So he needs
somebody. Or if he even
trusts
the people with the bounty.
On. And so initially, Ned is like, hey, tell you what. I really don't. I don't need. I can't leave Sally. I can't leave Sally for this extended period of time. I'm done with that life. And so Money's like, okay, well, would you mind going back and keep an eye on my kids? And so, it looks like Ned might be going to do that. And
so you can bring Sally, they'll have a slumber party with the kids, and she can tell them Indian ghost stories.
They'll build a blanket fort.
William could then go through his, trial and go on a spirit quest.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be just like in Ernest Goes to Camp, where they just line them up and they just throw hatchets at him.
Yep.
And he's
or he can go and kill a grizzly bear with his bare hands.
Smoke some peyote. We should do Ernest Goes to Camp.
We should. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. It's such a great movie, though.
Anyway, continue.
But, Ned doesn't end up going and watching over Money's kids. He goes along with Money.
Yep. He doesn't even stay back with Sally Two Feet.
Nope. He leaves Sally Two Trees.
Two Trees, sorry, yes.
To go along with Money to give him some backup. Because Money and Ned are old friends.
And he just realized, bros before hoes.
Mm-hmm. That and those 3 a.m. friends, where if you've seen The Town, we're going to go mess some guys up. I can't tell you who, I can't tell you where, but we're going. Whose car are we taking? That kind of friend.
The Town, man, I haven't watched The Town in a while. And that movie impressed me. Oh, wow, Ben Affleck. I didn't realize you could direct a movie like that. Anyhow. So, and then this is where we get some of the beautiful cinematography as they are in the music, as they are just going towards this town in Wyoming, right? They're in Kansas. They got to go to Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even by car, that's a good drive.
So basically, they got to go west to Colorado, then north.
Right? So, they're running around. Finally, we get to a time where, they're, we get a scene where they're nighttime. And again, we could tell this is the first time that they have slept in the wilderness in a while. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Sam in Fellowship.
Yeah.
The first night he's sleeping on the ground.
Yeah.
They're kind of doing the same thing themselves. Like, oh, man, we miss our beds.
Mm-hmm. And, it's mostly Ned.
Ned. You gotta remember, he's missing his 19th century bed.
I thought this was so funny because Ned is sitting there complaining about how he misses his bed. He hasn't slept on the hard ground in a long time. And Money, Clint Eastwood, is just sitting there all snuggled up under his blanket.
Snug as a bug in a rug.
He's got the blanket all pulled up to his neck. All you can see is his head outside of the blanket.
It's such a contrast. So, he's supposed to be this badass Western dude. And now he's like, yes. Gonna go kill myself, some people.
And then you got Schofield. Oh, actually, no, I guess they haven't.
No, we're about to get Schofield
yet.
right? Because then we cut to a scene where, they're talking. They're kind of out in the open, and they hear this gunfire.
Yeah, there's gunfire.
And it spooks Ned's horse. Not Ned's horse. Will's horse.
Yeah. It spooks the horse.
And it throws him off.
And then Ned's like, oh, somebody's shooting at us. So he jumps off his horse.
Yep.
And
they get low.
They get low. They're crawling through the tall grass. And, these gunshots keep on coming. And then they start shooting another direction. And Ned's like, oh, he's not shooting at us anymore. Okay. So they move a little bit closer. And they're like, oh, he's shooting at us again. Wait, he's not shooting at us now.
And then finally, Will decides, you know what? Hey, kid. It's me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Schofield's it's like, Will. It's like, I'm here with my partner, Ned. And he's like, what?
I told you
somebody.
Come alone.
It's like, I don't do anything without this guy. So it's either me and him, or we're going back. Right? And so, he reluctantly agrees to this, and they get out, and
he's like, all right, so we're coming up to you to talk. Don't shoot us.
I love that little part, don't shoot us. Again, there's still that uneasy alliance about all this, right?
Yeah.
None of them actually seem like all that hard asses at this point, right? Because obviously the Schofield kid looks like he's out of his depth.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Right? And he even tries talking tough to Ned, and Ned's not buying it either.
No.
And he's like, he asks, so how many guys he killed?
Well, that's
he asked Ned how many he's killed.
Oh yeah.
How many have you killed? It's like, I've killed 5.
Well, he tells them that later when they're camping.
Oh, that's right.
But they're going, and he's got his rifle. Schofield's got his rifle out, and that's what he was shooting with. And Ned picks it up, and he goes to sight it in, and Schofield's like, "Give me back my rifle. That's not yours.
Yeah.
Don't touch my stuff."
He's protective of it.
Ned puts it back down. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I was just checking it, making sure nothing was bent, because you were shooting everywhere. You weren't hitting your target."
He's very politely doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's going to be going to kill some people with it, he's going to make sure that the gun's in good working order, right? But as they're going through this, right? They're talking at one of these points, and then he talks about this bird up in the air.
Well, yeah, when they're riding on. So after they convince Schofield to let Ned join their gang, and to split the reward 3 ways instead of 2. Then they're riding. They're on their horses, and Ned and Schofield are riding next to each other. And Ned's talking to Schofield, kind of ribbing him a little bit. He's kind of, understandably, testing his credibility.
Yeah, it's a good way of saying it.
And he comments again on how bad of a shot that Ned is, or that Schofield is. And Schofield is like, "Well, are you a good shot?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I can." I think a little bit earlier, Money had mentioned that Ned could shoot a bird in the eye while it's flying. Right? Or maybe Ned said that. Either way, Ned looks up. He's like, "See that hawk up there? I can shoot it down with 1 shot." And, Schofield looks up. He's like, "Yeah, I see it." And then Ned's like, "You're blind, aren't you?"
I ain't blind.
He's like, "I ain't blind. I can see just fine." It's like, "Oh, so how far can you see? Can you see 100 yards? It's like, "Oh, yeah, I can see 100 yards. So are you sure? I don't think you can. There's no hawk up there." So then
can see
Schofield's getting offended. He's starting to get kind of rowdy, kind of rambunctious here, and
he's trying to look tough. And even back then, I get it. Be a bad eyesight back then. I get it.
So he's like, I can see just fine. He grabs Ned's canteen and throws it on the ground. He's like, "See your canteen?" And he shoots it a couple times with his pistol, with his revolver. And he's like, "See, I can shoot just fine up close."
You're always going to be shooting up close.
And so they come to a consensus that the Schofield kid can see 50 yards, which he clearly can't. But, but Money
maybe.
And Ned, they humor him.
But that's the thing about them. 12 years ago, they probably would have said, "No, you're not coming with us."
Yeah.
We're not going to shoot you right now, but we're going to compete.
Yeah. And by the way, just in reference to our discussion earlier about Little Bill's terrible carpentry skills. Yes. We didn't mention it while he was building the house, but it is brought up that he's a terrible carpenter.
Multiple times. And there will be a scene later where we can definitely see he is not a good carpenter.
Yeah. Anyway.
So now we know Schofield is definitely nearsighted. Nearsighted? Yeah, nearsighted.
Yeah, he's nearsighted. Right? He can see close up. He can't see far away.
So now we cut to another character. We're on a train, right? Classic old Western style train. And you have this guy reading a newspaper, and it says President Garfield shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then this other guy is sitting across from him. He's like, "So tell me, did Venus blow your mind?"
Anyway,
Oh, train. Oh, wait, no. So, yeah, this guy's reading a newspaper about Garfield getting shot. Not the cat, the president.
John's not going to be happy about that.
Ooh, Odie will be thrilled, though. And normal.
Also, he's one of these guys who's like, I want to know who killed, who shot him. It was one of those John Bull dudes, right? And then, there's this conversation going around this train cars and talking about the president being shot,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's an interesting thing here going where you can tell this is like the precipice of like the old West and then the modern world also kind of emerging through as well, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't get any cities here, but you get those hints of people that are definitely the more civilized people away from all these things happening, right? And then there's this guy, he's got this really rich, haughty English accent, which is Richard Harris.
Richard Harris speaks as only Richard Harris can.
As English Bob. And he says, oh, this gentleman must be of French ancestry, right? He's like, I hope that he wouldn't be offended that, I observe the French are known to be a race of assassins, but they can't shoot worth a damn, right? And then he's like, excluding the French among us, maybe, right?
Including any French that are in this train car.
And then this guy's like, well, no, it says here his name is Gitto? G-U-I. And then guy's like, sounds like a John Bull to me, right?
It sounds like John Paul to me.
And then English Bob then takes a chance, like, excuse me, gentlemen. Because he's got to call them gentlemen. He's like, I don't wish to mean offense. It's like,
he's very proper.
Like, it might be a good idea if your country decided to have a king or even a queen. No one would dare shoot a king or a queen. The royalty, they approach that, they would just shrivel up at that moment by that majesty.
And then someone starts to
these other guys are talking.
Someone's getting offended by what English Bob was saying, and
this guy, his Crocker's like, it's like, and the other guy's telling him to like shut up. It's like what's got up your ass? This guy's an asshole. And then the guy's like, well, but it might be this dude English Bob. He's the one that shoots all the Chinamen for the railroads.
Yes. Dude, that is not the preferred nomenclature.
Asian American, please. And we had not been able to drop a Big Lebowski reference that's not been Too Excited Trampoline Guy in a long time. How's the smut business, Dubois? And it is evident that this is English Joe. English
Bob.
English not Bob. Right? And so there's one guy and him decide, they're gonna have a test to see who can be the better shooter though, right? Who can shoot more they're gonna shoot turkeys, right?
Well, first off, on the train sitting next to English Bob is Saul Rubinek, WW Beauchamp.
He says, he is writing a biography on English
Bob.
Right? And so they they're going to have this contest about shooting turkeys. 10 turkeys and $1 a turkey that you get killed. That's killed, right? The one who shoots more, right? Then how many turkeys they shot, that's how much money they're owed, right? And English Bob wins, right? And so they continue on the little quest, and they come into this town in Wyoming because English Bob wants to collect in on this bounty.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're walking in, there's this sign that says no firearm. You must turn your firearms
Yes.
into the law enforcement,
Yes.
and no assassins, right? And so they go in and they find a place where they can
English Bob.
lodge.
They go, yeah, and then they go into the barbershop, and English Bob gets a shave, and he's got
before they do that, one of the deputies sees him. Like, it's like, do you have any firearms, right? Because it's like, oh no, sir, we don't have any firearms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes back and he tells Bill that this guy came in and he thinks that he probably was packing but hasn't, and so it's no. And then we see he goes to the barbershop, right? And the barbershop again, he's talking about Garfield and kings and queens.
Mm-hmm. And how, yeah, and the same, like how if you point a gun at someone, it's very hard to pull the trigger. Especially if you point it at a king or a queen. You can't kill them. But a president, that's a different story.
Yeah, that just happened 15 years ago. That chap Lincoln. So easy. So easy. Just to have that majesty and honor, right? Again, he's being so condescending.
Mm-hmm.
Can't help but not be condescending.
Yeah.
And then, he gets up and says, like, but thank you for the.
And this whole time, he's got a gun on his hip.
Yep. Very clearly.
Yeah. And so, yeah, he gets up, he puts on his coat.
Yep. And what's the name? Beauregard flips a coin to the barber.
Beauchamp.
Thank you.
Beauchamp. Yeah. So
and then they leave. And when they leave, he got like 5 deputies there with the sheriff.
Mm-hmm. And they've all got their guns drawn.
And little Bill recognizes him right away. Like, oh, hey, Bob. Bobby. Hans. Booby.
Booby. I'm your white knight.
And so, he knows right away that he's packing.
Mm-hmm. So he tells him to hand over his gun. And, of course, English Bob says, I'm unarmed. I don't have a gun. And little Bill's like, I know you got a gun, Bob. You're English Bob. I know you got one. So he walks up to him, and he reaches to his side, and he says, oh, he opens up his jacket, and he's like, oh, look at that. It's a gun. And he pulls the gun out of his holster. And then he punches him. And he kicks him. And he beats the crap out of English Bob.
Yep. Well, before he does that, he looks over at WW. He's like, oh, who's he? Oh, he's my biographer.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's when he looks at the book. He's like, it's wait, the Great Duke? That's what it's titled?
No, it's
the Wild Duke.
The Duke and the Duke of Death.
The Duke of Death. And Bill's like the Duck of Death.
That's
he's
later.
Like, no, that's the Duke.
That's
like,
later.
No,
that's
the Duck.
Yeah, that's later.
I thought they get back into it later also about that. I thought it's both times. Anyway, but it leads into he just beats the crap out.
Beats the tar out of English Bob. And then after he's done beating him and he's all bloodied and bruised and stuff, he, gets him back on his feet.
And then he's saying, like, I bet you think
I guess before they did that. No, yeah. So before he beat him, after he took the gun, English Bob, turned to walk away, and
That's
Little
right.
Bill
Yes,
stopped him. He's
yes.
like, "I'm going to need the 32 also."
Yeah, that's right. Because
And
he
he's like,
he had a
"What
2, and
32?"
that's why he taught. Yeah,
He's like, "What
that's
32?"
right.
And so yeah, Little Bill reached into his jacket pocket, his lapel pocket, and he pulled out this little Derringer, and then he beat the crap out of him.
Yep. And he gets him up. He's like, "I bet you think I beat you, but for this and this is like, but I'm also sending a message to all of these death merchants and all these assassins, when Abilene and Cheyenne, and he's like, like this is not going to happen in my town, right? We're civilized here, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Civilized people."
So he takes him back to the jail, locks him and Beauchamp up. Even though Beauchamp doesn't have a weapon, he doesn't have a gun on him. He doesn't believe in guns.
No, he doesn't believe in guns.
He doesn't think they exist, apparently. But yeah, so he locks them both up. And that's when he's looking at the book.
Yep. And he is reading this book, and
The Duck of Death.
The Duck of Death. And again,
and Beauchamp corrects him. He's like, "It's the Duke of Death." He's like, "Oh, no, it looks like Duck.
Looks like Duck.
It's the Duck of Death."
He corrects him several times about this.
Mm-hmm.
They correct each other several times about this.
Mm-hmm. And he's reading about this particular kill that the Duck of Death got. And he's like, "Well, that's not right. That's not how it happened."
The Blue Bottle Saloon in Wichita.
It's like, were you there? It's like, well, this all came from eyewitness testimony.
No, and there might be some embellishments, but it's because people like the embellishments a little bit. It sells.
Yeah, and so Little Bill is like, he starts telling the story about what really happened.
Yes, there's this character that's in this thing, Two Gun Corcoran.
Mm-hmm. Two Gun Corcoran.
And Bill now
in the story, Two Gun Corcoran had two guns.
Mm-hmm. Classic kind of Western style outlaw. Two guns, right?
And it was a typical sort of quick draw type of thing, and English Bill was quicker. He took him down. He took Corcoran down. He's going to
demythalize this. Well, what actually happened, and how Two Guns was actually killed.
Now, Two Gun Corcoran was there. English Bob was there, but English Bob was drunk. He was drunk off his ass, and he challenged Two Gun Corcoran. Now, Two Gun Corcoran, he didn't carry two guns. He had one gun. He had this one revolver.
What did the other gun refer to?
Well, the reason he was called Two Gun Corcoran, the reason he was called Two Gun is because his dick was so big, it was longer than the barrel of his gun.
I don't know if Gene Hackman counts this tale.
And so that's where he got the name.
And you see Beauchamp like, oh,
Well, anyway, English Bob challenged Corcoran. And Corcoran, when you're shooting, quick isn't always the best. He drew real quick, but he was moving too quick and ended up shooting off his toe. Shooting off his own toe. Now, after he did that, he took his time and he started leveling out his shot. But at that time, English Bob was able to draw his gun and shoot Corcoran and kill him. Well, first English Bob shot, he fired and missed because he was drunk. Then
Yes.
he was able to shoot him.
He had enough time to shoot him dead.
Because he was like 3 feet away from him.
Yes, that's the thing. He got closer because, like, yeah.
Just after he missed the first shot because he was drunk, he moved in closer. And he was able to get a shot off before Corcoran was able to aim.
Doesn't sound nearly as badass.
And if Corcoran had taken his time with his draw and not shot himself in the toe, English Bob would have been dead. Because Corcoran was a good shot.
Yep.
He just rushed himself a little bit at first. Because the thing was shooting.
And so it was like,
is you want to go slow. You know,
and so was like, hey, like,
slow.
I'm not very fast.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, he actually lets Beauchamp out of his cell.
Yep.
He's like, stand right there. See? And he's like, he draws his gun. He's like, draws his gun real quick, points it at Beauchamp. He's like, see, that's as fast as I can draw. It's not.
Yeah.
You know.
It's nothing.
But shooting a man
I've survived.
is
Shooting
not
a man
as
too.
easy as people think. You know, when you hold a man's life in your hands, you know, if you're not up for it, you're not going to be able to do it. And so he walks over and he opens up the desk drawer and he pulls out a revolver from that drawer and he puts it down in front of Beauchamp. It's like, pick it up. You know, he puts his revolver back in his holster.
I'm not now.
It's like, pick it up. And Beauchamp says, no, I don't like guns. And he's like, oh, dude.
They don't pick it up.
Pick it up. So Beauchamp picks it up. He's like, point it at me. And Beauchamp's like, I don't think so. Well, first off, he's like, is it loaded? And Little Bill's like, well, it wouldn't be very useful if it wasn't. Point it at me.
Yeah, and so he points it at him.
And reluctantly, you know, he points it at him.
Yeah, he's very reluctant. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all right, cock it. So Beauchamp, you know, pulls the hammer back. Like, all right, pull the trigger. And Beauchamp is sitting there, hesitating. He's like, go ahead, pull the trigger. Do it. Pull the trigger. And Beauchamp goes to put the gun back down. And Little Bill is like, your finger wasn't even on the trigger. You couldn't even put your finger on the trigger. And so Beauchamp looks back at English Bob, who is now like really, he's paying attention to what's going on here. He's still in his cell. And Beauchamp's like, well, what if I give it to him? And Little Bill's like, give it to him. Go ahead. Go give it to him. And so Beauchamp walks back. He hands the gun to English Bob. English Bob's holding on to it. And he looks over at Little Bill, and Little Bill moves his hand to his gun. You know, he's ready to draw.
Yep. He's ready.
He's ready to draw. And English Bob decides, you know what? No. And he hands it back to Beauchamp. And Beauchamp goes and puts it back down on the desk. And Little Bill's like, see? What'd I tell you? Not as easy as it looks, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Not just anybody can kill a man.
No. Killing ain't easy. Not that I would know.
Yeah.
I've never killed a man. How does it feel to kill a man? You killed the other boxing man.
Killed the other boxing man. What, is that what they're saying? I didn't know he was dead.
So we cut to the next morning, and WWE's gonna stay behind, but they're gonna put they're gonna put Bob, English Bob, on a train back, and
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna ride a deputy with him. They'll give him his gun back once he gets on the train. And he's out of town, right? And English Bob now is humiliated.
Yeah.
And so we even see him as he's riding a train, a little bit out of town. He crosses paths with the kid, Ned,
Mm-hmm.
and Will,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Will's like, is that Bob? Right? And he's just his head's just kind of slunk against the other side of
Yeah.
the car he's in, and he's obviously all beaten up and bloodied. Right?
But he's definitely recognized.
He's definitely recognized. That's right. So, and we had a scene here too where, the kid, again, as we talked about earlier, has claimed to have killed 5 people.
Yes, we got
plus
that. Yeah,
some animal.
So yeah, after Ned and Bill met up with Schofield, then that night they were camping, and again,
yeah,
Money was all curled up under his blanket.
Yes. It's like,
they're talking, and Ned's tossing and turning, and that's when Schofield told them that's when he asked how many people Ned had killed, and Ned wouldn't answer.
It's like, oh, you've killed 5. Wow.
He wouldn't answer, and so Schofield's like, I killed 5. One of them was Mexican. He came out with him a knife.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah. Then we finally get them. They're coming into town too, right? And we have that sign about no firearms, no assassins, no one's going to collect on any bounties, right? But they go to Dubois' place, and we cut up to the brothel. And the kid goes up there first to talk with Alice about the thing. And Ned and Will are down in the saloon. And at this point, Will now is also just kind of still covered up. You can tell he is shaking. It looks like he's sweating. It looks like he is sick.
Well,
he has a fever.
We're not quite there yet. They haven't gone to the town yet. First, they have their run-in with Davy before they go to the town.
Do they? No, Davy's later.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Yep. Because this the town, Davy back to the town.
Yeah, that's right.
So they're down there, and so it's the 2 of them, and and Will can barely speak. Right? He's sick. You can tell he is sick.
Mm-hmm.
He got whatever the pigs have.
It's been raining. Like, they've been riding through the rain.
There is a lot of rain in this movie.
So he's got a bad case of the sniffles.
And so they're drinking with Dad and Will. They're drinking whiskey. They're waiting for the kid, and he's not coming because he's getting some, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, Will's not drinking because he's sober now.
Oh, that's right.
Ned's
Yeah,
drinking.
that's right. Yes, Ned's drinking.
Well, no, isn't Ned up with the kid?
Well, no, then he goes up because the kid's taking so long. Yeah. So then
Ned goes up. He goes up to see what's taking so long,
and he gets some too. Then we cut across the sheriff's office, and these deputies come in, and it's like, hey, these 3 strangers came into town. Looks like they were armed. They're over at the saloon right now. And a couple of them have already gone up and they're getting some from the girls, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And Ned right now, he's not thinking anything. He's just thinking, I feel like hell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then everyone, but that's when Bill and deputies come in and they got their firearms drawn. It's like, hey, stranger.
You're supposed to turn in your firearms, when you enter this town. Or do you not see the sign? I mean, granted,
it's raining outside. It's dark. I can see how you wouldn't see the sign.
Yeah, but so I'm just informing you now if you got any weapons on you, turn them in.
Now's the time. Tell me, just turn them over nicely.
And
he didn't say turn them over nicely. He doesn't really say that. I mean, the way he brings about it's still intimidating.
Yeah, but Money's like, I don't have a gun. And Bill is like, oh, well, I don't believe you. Stand up. And Money's just trying to get him to leave him alone.
Yes. And Delilah is behind the bar at this point, and she's watching all this happen.
And so he reluctantly stands up. And Bill comes over. He reaches into...
And they kind of think, because he's not walking well because he's sick, they think he's also drunk.
Yeah.
But he's obviously not drunk, so, because like you said, he's sober.
They're talking about him being drunk, and he's like, I haven't had any whiskey. I'm not drunk. And
my buddy there was drinking all the whiskey that's on that table.
And so Bill, walks up to him, reaches under his coat to his hip, and he pulls out a revolver. It's like, oh, I thought you said you were unarmed. Well, you know what we do to people around here who are carrying firearms, and he just starts beating the crap out of Clint Eastwood.
Yep. So Delilah takes this chance. She goes upstairs. She tells the others up there, and they escape out this back window, right? While Will's is getting beat up downstairs, right? And they finally kick him outside.
Kick him outside, and right? he gets picked up by Ned and the kid, and they ride off.
They ride off, and they ride off to this little a barn, not too far outside town.
Yeah, there's this little abandoned barn,
and they're gonna nurse him back to health. There,
they're gonna nurse him back to health. He's got this
and
cut.
Guess what? While they're doing that,
cut by his eye. This deep cut. And so, they're stitching him up. They're stitching up that cut.
Old West style.
And
again, he is delirious also at this point. He's been beat up, but he's also delirious from this.
Because he's sick. And so...
And he's just talking nonsense. Right? And, We finally cut to a few days later, right? And he's starting to come around a little bit. And we see Ned and the kid there, and they're getting the prostitutes.
Yep, we got the prostitutes that came out. They followed him out there.
Right? And they're bringing them some supplies, some medicine.
It's medicine,
some food,
and
some water.
And they're doing what they can to help Money. To help Will. And, help nursing him back to health. And so he gets up, and while he was out, while he was unconscious, Ned left to go home. Because Will told him to go back home. He told him to go home to Sally because he didn't need to be, he didn't need to risk his life for him.
And so once he's kind of back to health, he's feeling a little bit better. Delilah's there with him.
Yeah, because Delilah is the primary caretaker of him.
And, we have the kid, he goes back to town to get a few more supplies, but Delilah's hanging back, and they have a conversation.
This is the most Delilah talks in the entire movie.
And, he's actually eating some food now, too. He's actually probably eating some solid food a little bit. And, I was like, oh, and she's saying, hey, your partners there, they're taking advances with some of the other.
Yeah. So, why don't
you? He's like,
he's like, well, I got a wife. And she's like, oh, well, I respect that, you would hold off on doing that, on account of your wife, Because there's so many people that visit the brothel that, they have wives.
Have wives.
And it's like, well, maybe if I went and
They
got,
didn't have a wife.
maybe if I went and got Alice, And he's like, no, if I were to have one of you, it would be you.
I'd have you.
I'd have you. And she's like, why is
thing
that?
to say.
I mean,
We look alike.
She's like, well, why? I'm all cut up. And he's like, well, we're both all cut up. Yeah.
But he's being more than just about physical scars.
Yeah, but he's like, we're both cut up. But you're a good person. Basically, you're a good soul.
Mm-hmm.
And so they develop a little bit of a connection there.
Yep. So he gets healed up, and he and Ned and meet back up again with the kid, and they find out where Davy is.
Well, no, yeah. Oh yeah. So I guess Ned hasn't gone home yet, but anyway.
Yeah.
It's after Davy that Ned goes home.
Yes.
Yeah. So they find out that Davy is in the rocks.
Yep, and he's riding with some other friends of his. Not, what's his name?
Yeah, so he's with Lachlan Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
With Texas
and
Slim.
they're just riding, and then we have Ned.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 people in that group that's that are with Davy.
And so they're down below, and the other 3 are up on a ridge, right? They're at a good vantage point to shoot down at him, right? They miss him, but they hit his horse, right? And so he falls off, and the horse falls on him.
Yeah, on Davy,
breaks his leg.
Everybody down there scatters.
But all the others, they're scattered.
But Davy, his legs pinned under the horse,
and he is now scared. And
so
this is where it gets hard.
He starts trying to
Davy,
crawl away.
And Ned shoots again, but misses. And they got a great shot because he's basically immobilized. Now he's not moving. And he's like, why are you shooting at me? And it was like, why are you shooting at him? Right. And his friends have no idea what's happening, and he has no idea what's happening. And he just looks like a scared kid at this point.
Yeah.
And this scene's kind of hard. It's it's rough.
He's trying to crawl away to get under the cover of some rocks.
The kid's like, "Did you hit him? Did you hit him?"
Yeah, the kid keeps asking, "Did you hit him? Did you hit him?"
Finally, Will has to take the gun from him, and he shoots, and he misses. And again, he said, "Did you hit him? Did you hit him?" And he finally hits him in the.
He's like, "How many shots you got left?" And Ned's like, 3.
That's right.
So Will lines up a shot, shoots, hits the ground, and then he shoots again, misses again, and each time he's shooting, Schofield is like, "Did you hit him? Did you hit him? Did you hit him?" And finally, with that last shot, Money hits Davy in the stomach, like in the gut. And so he's screaming. He's like, "Oh, they shot me! They shot me!" And Schofield, of course, is like, "Is he gonna die? Did you kill him?" And
the guy's like, "I'm in so much pain. This hurts." And his
Money's
friends are scared. They can't, they're not willing to even show their faces, right?
They're hiding behind rocks. There's people shooting at them.
Yeah, obviously.
So Money's like, "I hit him. He's dying. I hit him in the gut. He's gonna die." And so then Davy's sitting there while he's dying. He's like,
"Oh, I'm thirsty. I need water. I need water.
My throat's so dry. I need some water." And
And of course, the friends don't want to, like, they got canteens.
They got canteens, but they're hiding behind the rocks. They don't want to get shot.
Because they'll be shot at. And then finally, Will's is like, we ain't going to shoot you. Get him some water.
Give him some water.
And so one of them, they gets out.
Texas
and
Slim, he gets out and he runs over there, pulls out his canteen, and he pours some water into Davy's mouth, and sits with him while he dies. You can
tell that like Ned is just like, this is too much for him. Like, this is not what he signed up for.
Yeah,
like it's like I and Will, like you can tell he's like not happy about it.
Yeah, Will is conflicted.
Like, he's not going to take. Like, he's not going to take. I mean, again, like he's not going to. They don't have the ammo anyway at this point.
I mean, the two of them really only came out here for this for the money.
They're not going to shoot his friends. They had nothing to do with this, and like
So both of them are feeling really, really bad about this whole situation. Meanwhile, Schofield is excited.
He's gonna die. He's gonna die.
You got him.
Like woo, and like when the guy's like, he calls her so much pain, it's like you should have thought about that before you cut her titties, right? He didn't cut the titties.
No, he didn't cut the titties. That was Quick Mike.
But obviously, we don't see the scene where it finally dies, but like you can tell, like.
But
after this, like, this is where Will just tells Ned, go home.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go home.
Yeah, so Ned goes home.
Like,
Ned leaves him. He leaves to go home, and Will and Schofield are riding, and
right.
Do we get the scene with Mike before or after we're back at the town? Before or after we see Ned again?
After.
Okay.
Because when he gets tortured is before the Mike stuff, I think.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
Because some deputies come up and tell Ned about how, like, oh yeah, no, these guys just came in, like, so they were shooting at their buddy here, Dave. He was one of the guys that cut up, right? And like they think they went these different directions. They know where the one guy went.
Yeah. So
right?
On Ned's way back home, he's passing back through the town.
Yeah. And they get Ned and they arrest him. And then like Ned decides to go slave master punishment on him.
Well, Ned doesn't decide that.
Not Ned. Bill does. Bill goes slave master punishment on Ned.
So he starts whipping him.
Yeah,
because that was the thing earlier.
The cell.
That was the thing because apparently little Bill has a whip with him, and like earlier with Quick Mike and Davey, with the whole you're giving them your horses stuff. They're like, you're not even gonna whip him. So little Bill has a whip. And
he tries to whip out the information from him.
Mm-hmm. So he's whipping him.
But his story keeps getting conflicted.
Yep. So he asks him.
He keeps reading it back because WWE is writing everything down like a stenographer.
Yep. So, little Bill is asking for Ned's friends' names.
He's not going to do it.
And, he tells him, fake names. It's like, oh, that's his name? That's not what you said earlier. Hey, Beauchamp, what did he say earlier? And so he's reading it. Like, see? You're lying. So, what we're going to do, we're going to get those whores in here. And if their lies don't match your lies, you're going to be in trouble.
So, I mean, again, both Morgan Freeman, like, this is so much of Morgan Freeman's acting comes just the way he delivers things and presents himself, and like this one, he's like just quiet, and the intensity of Gene Hackman matching the realization in Morgan Freeman's face here, it's terrific stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Morgan Freeman and Gene Hackman work so well together in this scene.
Yes, they do. They really, really do. Forgot to mention, since we're talking about Beauchamp and Gene Hackman and Bill in this scene, is when they came into town earlier. We had a scene with the two of them at night at Bill's house, and it's raining, like we said.
Mm-hmm.
And he's telling these stories to Beauchamp, right? And he has all these pots collecting all the water where the water's coming through the house.
Because he built his own roof.
And then he's like, hey, Beauchamp, open that window. And Beauchamp would open the window and he would throw in a pot of water that got filled up and put it back under. And Beauchamp's trying not to have the rain like smear the ink on his pages. Anyway, so yes, we mentioned now he's not a good carpenter. That scene's a nice little funny demonstration of Bill's carpentry skills.
Yes.
He is not Jesus.
He is not Jesus.
So after the scene, though, in the sheriff's office, in the whipping, we cut back to the kid and Will, right? And they track down Eddie, right?
Mike.
Mike. Sorry, thank you, Mike. And he is hanging out with some friends in his house, right? And he's got one of them. Basically, he's got kind of like acting as bodyguards for him.
Yeah.
Right. And we see them, and we see this guy come out from this outhouse that's out there, right? And walks in.
And yeah,
so yeah, we just gotta wait.
Yeah, we gotta wait. And Schofield is adamant that Will's not going to kill this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill him.
And Will's like, "Yep, you can have the kill.
I found this bounty. It's mine."
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Will's like, "Well, yeah, you can kill him.
You can kill him. I don't got any qualms about that. You can kill him. I killed the last guy." Right? And they're just waiting. And Will's like, he can't hold it forever.
So right. Then they see that Mike comes out of the house. He comes out the front door. He walks over to the outhouse. And he goes in.
Yep. And so the kid's going to take this. He's going to take his opportunity.
This is my chance.
Yep. So he goes up. He makes sure no one follows him outside. Right.
He walks up. It's a 2-stall outhouse.
The 2-stall outhouse. This is very important. That's a 2-stall outhouse. Hey, I never thought about needing 2-stall outhouses, but
and he walks over there. He opens up the door, and there's nobody in there.
Like, oh my!
It's like, oh,
and so while he's like kind of looking confused about this, one of Mike's buddies,
here's what's going on outside.
He's like, he starts to come out, and then kid goes in the other outhouse and opens up, and there's Mike. Pants around his ankles.
Yep, sitting on the toilet pooping.
And he's kind of like, oh no.
Pooping. And so,
and we hear the assassin. The kid kind of hesitates for a second.
Points his gun at him and hesitates, and then this guy comes out of the house. This big guy comes out of the house.
Big burly guy.
And the kid looks over and sees him, and he gets scared, and he just pulls the trigger a couple of times and shoots Mike like 2 or 3 times in the chest while he's pooping. I guess he's trying to help him get that last little bit out.
It definitely got out.
Because when you die, your bowels unplug. So,
thank you, South Park. There's a South Park episode about that.
Yes, there was.
At this point, there's a South Park episode about everything.
About everything. But yeah, so
Simpsons did it first, though.
Yes, they did. Simpsons did everything first. Yeah, so then the kid, after killing Mike, he runs off.
Yep.
As he's being
And now the other
chased
guys in the
by
house,
these
they
other
come
guys.
out and they're chasing the two of them out to
Mm-hmm.
the horses.
And they get on their horses, they
Right.
ride. And then we
They're
get a
like
scene,
escape the
they
gunfire.
stop at this tree to rest. Because
And
they're
it's not
far
too
enough
far
away.
out from the town that they're going back to, and
They stop at this tree and
there's this bottle of whiskey. I love how this shot's set up because it never really keeps the two of them in the same frame,
mm-hmm.
and you can tell how it's shot. They're kind of looking different directions and not looking at each other,
Yeah.
right? Like they, here they are. They've been partnered through this, but like this is they go through this ordeal that just happened, and they can't talk to each other about it. And Ned's listening, but he's responding.
Well,
But
Ned's
you
not there.
can tell
Will's
he's
listening.
got not Ned. Sorry, Will. Thank you. Has his own things in his mind as the kid is processing all of this. It's like, yeah, I killed him, and he takes then like it seems like after every like 3 or 4 words, he just takes a swig of whiskey.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, yeah, he was right there, and and you could tell like he's gradually like breaking down about
It's
what
like,
happens.
I killed him while he was pooping.
He's like, that was my first. First what? Like, how I said 5? No, that was my first.
That was my first. Even that guy with the knife, even that Mexican with the knife. I just, I just knocked him off his feet. I didn't shoot him. And
then finally, the dawns are like he just killed someone, and like this snuffed out a life,
mm-hmm.
and he can't take it back, and it's just done. It's final.
And then he's like, I'm done with this. I ain't never killing
and
again.
then, Will just looks at it. Will just again just responds like it's a crazy thing killing a man. Take everything he has, and everything he's gonna have.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like, well, what about the money? And Schofield's like, you can have it all. You take it all. I don't ever want to think about this again. And so then Alice comes riding up. And she's got a bag. She's got a satchel. And she hands it to Will. And it's full of coins.
Didn't you hear? Hear what? Ned's dead.
Well, he's like, let's go find Ned and give him his half.
That's right.
And yeah, she's like, didn't you hear? Ned's dead. He's like, what?
Yeah.
No, he's not dead. He's home. He went home.
No.
It's like, no,
he got caught.
He got caught. And
Bill was questioning him.
Bill was questioning him, torturing him, and he
all
died.
of a sudden he was just dead. Like they even put it up in town as a warning to everybody that comes in. Right?
And so
when Will's like, okay.
So he gives
he starts to formulate this plan.
Yeah. And he gives a satchel to Schofield. He's like, okay, go find Ned's wife, Sally. Give her his half. And then take the other half to my kids.
Yep. And at that point, you might want to not stick around these parts. Because, they still might want to, they still might be trying to find you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, don't worry, I'm never going to pick up a gun again. Like, the kid's like, no,
Yeah. Because at this point, Will still doesn't have a gun. And so Will's like, kid, let me see your Schofield. And so he's like, he hands it to him, and he's like, you can keep it. I'm never touching a gun again. Yeah.
That's right. He says, you can keep it. That's right.
You can keep it.
Yep. And so, okay.
Yeah, so Schofield rides off. And Money, he's on a mission now.
He is on the mission now. The old Money is back now.
Mm-hmm.
Old Money.
Mm-hmm.
Old Money always means business. You don't mess with old money.
Nope.
Right? And as we said earlier, there's a lot of scenes with rain in this movie. Now we get rain again.
We do.
Storm has come in, and it's raining, and it's nighttime, and Money quietly walks into town on his horse. And again, we cross past that sign.
And he comes into town, and he's crossing the front of the saloon.
Yep. You can see that there's these two little torches.
There's these two little torches with a coffin in the middle of them, standing up on end.
And then as we kind of cross in front of the coffin, we see Ned. Morgan Freeman is
Morgan Freeman
right there
in the coffin with a sign going across the front that says, "This is what happens to assassins."
And so, if bad things weren't going to happen, if there might have been a reasonable conversation about things.
Yeah, that's not going to happen now.
That's all over now.
Yeah, that went out the window. So Money rides up to the saloon. He walks in.
And as he's walking in, right, we kind of get a shot inside first before he walks in, right? And Ned is talking to the saloon, and it's full on, right?
And this time, Will's carrying a shotgun.
Yes.
And yeah, Bob is talking to people in there. Or no, not Bob. Bill is talking to people in there. And it turns out that it's Little Bill and all of his deputies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's most of the people that are in there.
Yeah. Dubois in there, obviously.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's his
We
establishment.
see up above, we see a couple of the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few other townsfolk in there.
And
right.
So he walks in, and nobody's looking at the door.
No, they're all just looking at Bill.
And Will walks in, and
at first all you see is the barrel of his gun, right? And you see him, and people quietly they see him before. Most of the saloon sees him before Bill does.
Well, they hear him cock the shotgun.
That's what it is. That's right.
They hear him cock the shotgun, and so everybody turns around.
That's right.
And he asks, "Who owns this place?"
Dubois.
And Dubois,
it's mine.
He gets up. He's like, "It's mine. I own this place."
You're decorating your place with my friend.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's like, how dare you decorate your place with my friend? And he gives him both barrels.
Oh, yes. If he thought Dubois was going to actually survive this movie,
he gives Dubois both barrels.
Would have reasonably thought that he would live through this movie.
He blows out his chest.
Yeah,
Dubois falls dead on the ground.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious, like, he gets blown in two.
Well, I guess he didn't, I guess he didn't tell Dubois, "You decorated the place with my friend," because he just shot him. And then Little Bill is like, "Why did you shoot him? He was unarmed." It's like, he decorated his place with my friend.
That's what it is. Yes, that's right. It's like, he was just like, and you think about it, like, yeah. Dubois is not the most likable of the characters. Like, I mean, again, there's not many likable people in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that are more sympathetic than others. Dubois is not one of them. Like, you feel for the kid at the end, right? You realize, like, he got raised on these stories and these things, and he wanted to be like that. You realize that it's more difficult than you think.
Well, I guess he didn't give him both barrels. He just gave him one. You just only one, because the other, he still has one shell in the shotgun, and he's pointing it at Bill.
And so then they continue the conversation. Bill's gonna try to talk him down, but he's not gonna talk him down, is he?
And then he tells his deputies, once he pulls that trigger, he's gonna have to reload. So you take him out. Because he knows, he knows chances are he's going to get shot. Because he's pointing a shotgun right at him.
The gun's right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to die. That's fine. He just wants his deputies to take out the guy. Shot him.
Yeah.
And so then the shootout.
No, well, Will pulls the trigger again, and it doesn't go off.
I'll say it jams. That's right.
He has a misfire.
Yep. He misfires. Yep. And he's like, And Bill's like, misfire. Right. Which again, like Bill knows these things. He's expecting that a misfire can very much happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also part of the reason why I say, like, hey, as soon as you shoot, pull that trigger, like shoot back, because like it might misfire and you can shoot him and whatever.
But yeah, this turns into a shootout. So before anybody can really react, Will drops the shotgun, draws his revolver, draws that Schofield that the kid gave him.
Yep.
Shoots Bill, and then goes through and shoots each of his deputies.
Yep.
With
they're
the
trying to shoot, but
like
they can't react in time because it's not something that they're really used to themselves.
No, because they're drawn and they're just like earlier. They're drawn real slow and they're trying to point, but they're not quite pointing in the right direction.
Bill was talking about Bourne, earlier at CC.
Yeah,
about Bob.
But
like it's not easy killing a person, shooting a person.
But Will is a seasoned assassin. He's a seasoned gunslinger. And so, he draws that gun and he one shot for each of them. And each of them are dropping dead.
Yep, they're down.
He's taking his time with it. He's slow as smooth as fast.
And anyone that's in there that was not a deputy that's like interested in saving their skin, they've left.
Mm-hmm. And he even said, anyone who's left in here who doesn't want to die, get out of here now.
Yep. And then you hear WW, you hear Beauchamp get up, and he starts coming up, and he's like, who are you? It's like, oh,
I'm an author.
I'm an author.
Like, I don't have a gun. I'm unarmed.
I write. And meanwhile,
Henry, the pen is mightier than the sword.
But Will, he's reloading when he's doing this, right? When the two of them are talking.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally finishes reloading.
He's not reloading. He picks up a rifle off of one of the guys.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So one of the guys that he just killed was holding a rifle, and so he picks that up off the ground. And and Beauchamp is like, wow, you killed the best shooter first, right? And then you went in descending order from that? From then? Because, when did you shoot Bill? Did you shoot Bill first? Yeah, you had to have shot Bill first.
You can tell his writer brain's trying to, how am I going to write this up?
And Will is like, I really didn't pay attention to the order that I shot him. I just shot him.
Beauchamp's like, oh, okay. Right? And then he's got this rifle. It looks like he's ready to shoot this rifle.
And he's walking over, and you see...
Beauchamp's like, you know what? I'm going to leave. Bye.
Yeah, and
have a nice
while
life.
they're having this conversation, you see Little Bill's head turn. You see his hand move down to his gun.
And then Will walks over and just steps on it.
Will walks over. And Bill is playing dead.
Yeah.
But
he's definitely shot,
yeah.
but he's alive.
Yeah. He's definitely shot, but he's alive. And Will suspects that he's faking his actual being dead at this point. And so he goes up and he steps on him. Doesn't let him draw his gun.
And Bill just looks at him and is like, I didn't deserve this.
I didn't
Will
deserve.
looks down on him.
He's like, deserve what? He's like, I didn't deserve to die like this.
And then he picks up that rifle, points it right at his head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, deserves have nothing to do with it. And
Pulls
then
trigger.
you just hear, boom. Right? And he starts to walk out of the saloon, and we see one of the deputies there. He's still somewhat alive.
And so
and
before he walks out
the door.
Yeah. Before he walks out, he calls out to everybody who's outside. He's like,
I'm coming out.
I'm coming out. If anybody takes a shot at me, I'm going to kill you, and then I'm going to kill your family.
Your entire family.
Your entire family.
Because there was a line earlier. It's like, I've killed so many people. I've killed women. I've killed children. I've killed animals. Like, there's a scene earlier. Like, we realize, like, no, he is killed innocent people. He is a
cold-blooded killer.
And when he says this line, this point, like, there was a point at the beginning of this movie where you feel like, yeah, he would not kill innocent people anymore. And there's a point where it almost feels real later. Here, when he says this,
you
full on believe he will kill someone's entire family.
Yeah. And so
you see Beauchamp, he's kind of across the street with a couple other guys in this little alley. And then he gets up on the horse.
They're hiding behind a horse.
They're hiding behind a horse. And it's pouring down rain, right? And they're looking across at him. Ned is still up in that coffin. They got the torch is still going on fire, right? And he walks across. And I trust you're going to give my friend Ned here a proper burial.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
because if you don't, I'm going to come out here. I'm going to kill everyone in this town.
I'm going to get medieval on your ass. He starts riding away. They get out from behind the horse, back out to the road. Other people kind of come out from some of the other houses. Ned's still there. You got the fire. It's raining, like we said. And they just watch him as he walks out of town. This mythical figure, right? And then it cuts. And, like, here's how it ends, though, right? Because, like, that's really the last scene with any of our characters. As he walks out of town in the rain with this whole town staring at him as, like, they're just like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood happened is what happened.
Clint Eastwood happened. So, yeah, Will leaves town, and next thing you know, we have that same shot from the beginning of the movie with that tree. And this time, it's not, Clint Eastwood's not there digging a grave.
Yeah. It's just, there's no one there.
There's no one there. Scene. It's just showing the tree with a headstone and a little shack that he lives in next to it. And then we get more words up on the screen.
Yeah, which I had a minute ago. I don't have the exact wording, which is fine. It says, like, sometime later, his wife, this mother, came to visit them and found it abandoned with just a headstone with her daughter's name on it.
Yeah.
It was rumored that William Bunny and his children had moved to San Francisco, where he prospered in dry goods. Yeah. And she was still perplexed about what caused her to marry such a scoundrel or something to that effect.
Something like that, yeah.
And then it just kind of ends with this really beautiful, like, guitar music. This Western music, as you just linger on that shot. And, like, it's this interesting epilogue. It's like, you wonder what did happen to him at the end.
Yeah.
Like, he goes back to his kids and like it's like, hey, I just murdered a bunch of people. Hey, son, you want to reenact the Patriot with me?
You'll be glad you killed those redcoats.
But you don't actually know what happened to him.
No, you don't.
His family.
It's
and
just rumored
how
that
he
went
kind
to
of
San
grapples with
Francisco.
what happened here and continuing to raise the kids he had with this wife that brought him peace.
Yeah.
Like, does he ever have peace? We don't know.
We don't know.
How's he going to grapple with this? Or is he unforgiven?
Is he unforgiven?
But that's how it ends. It just ends kind of on this lingering, kind of haunting note. Like, there's this kind of cathartic end to it, but like it's not cathartic. Like it's this brutal like burst of violence at the end,
Yeah.
and you just kind of deal with it and like processing all of it because like it's masterfully done.
Mm-hmm.
It is like well acted,
Yeah.
well shot, well written,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know how to process all of what happened because like typically like yeah, the good guy like goes out in this gunfight at the end and you're feeling awesome about it.
Yeah, but
you're like,
at the same time,
what was really won in this?
He's not a good guy.
Yeah, like okay, like you're glad that you know there's justice towards Bill, but again, is there a release? Like we don't know. Like we don't even really even get the Lila's perspective on
No, we don't. I mean, if there was a good guy in this movie, it would be Ned.
Yes,
Morgan Freeman,
and he's the one that dies.
Mm-hmm.
The kid lives, and he's going to be haunted by this.
Yep.
Right? Maybe that's part of it. Like the good die, and the others go unhaunted.
Yep.
I don't know. But like, yeah, Delilah, you know, again, like how's she going to process that? You don't know. You're left with it. And so apparently there was a scene filmed where he does get home and he talks with his children and they cut it.
Huh.
Because Clint Eastwood thought that it was like, okay, well, it just seems weird. Like, kind of this big moment here and all this. And now all of a sudden you just had to kind of continue it back at home. And I think it's good that just kind of ends there, goes to that little epilogue. It kind of left with questions.
Yeah.
It's a movie that needs those questions lingering in your mind at the end.
Yeah, it does.
But that's how it ends. That's Unforgiven.
That's Unforgiven.
Clint Eastwood directing himself, doing Clint Eastwood things.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what happens when you have Clint Eastwood.
That is what happens when you have Clint Eastwood. Mr. Eastwood?
So that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Well, if you enjoy what you're hearing, go ahead and check us out on our social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. There's Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out. A-N-D. It's not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. We're also on X or Twitter. That is R&T Cinematic. And then you can also check us out on Letterboxd. See some of the reviews that we've done of various movies. Some we've done on the podcast, some we haven't done, some we will do, some we won't do. That is Cine Adventure or Cine Adventure, C-I-N-E Adventure. And you can also send us an email at robintonyscinematicadventure@gmail.com. Once again, the and is spelled out. A-N-D. It's not an ampersand like the name of the podcast. But yeah, let us know. What did you think of Unforgiven? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Should we do more Westerns? You know, what do you think? We want to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
Go to our social media, give us a like and a follow, go to your favorite podcast app, hit that subscribe button, give us a good rating, a good review. That's how we move up in the rankings and the search and the recommendations, all that stuff. Because we want to be able to find as many people as we can who want to hear us talk about these movies. Because we love movies. We know you love movies. And yeah. If you're listening to us, then clearly you want to hear us talk about it.
Yes.
So, we want to reach as many people as we can. So please do all of that stuff, and help us find some more listeners. But next week, we're going to do something we've sort of talked about doing for a while. Doing a movie that we have talked about doing for a while. It's let's see, we have done another movie by this director. In fact, was it last summer or 2 years ago that we did it?
I want to say last summer.
I want to say last summer too. No, it was 2 summers ago that we did it.
Wow, it's been that long. Well, we are definitely overdue to do this director then.
It was 2 years ago that we did a movie by this director. So, that director, of course, is M. Night Shyamalan. The last movie of his that we talked about was Signs. And so now,
this time,
we're going to
talk about his breakthrough hit.
And what is that, Tony?
It is the 1999 supernatural classic, The Sixth Sense.
Wait. I thought people only had 5 senses.
No, there's 6 senses.
There's 6?
6.
Seriously?
And then Shyamalan told me.
There's 6 of them? Whew. Wow. I don't know what to do with that information.
I don't know either.
My life has changed so much now that I know that. Like my whole outlook on things changed.
Well, you need to chew on that.
All my life
while
I thought that we only had 5 senses.
When we watch this and discuss it, you need to kind of go through that, unravel that.
I guess so. Oh, but yeah, we're going to be talking about The Sixth Sense next time. I mean, it's been a few weeks since we talked about Bruce Willis, so it was only fitting that we do another Bruce Willis movie.
You got to do Bruce Willis again. He's not always one you think of necessarily with summer blockbusters, even though some of his movies actually were, but you still shoot them with Christmas. Mm-hmm. We can talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is definitely a Bruce Willis vehicle.
Yes, it is.
But this is also a huge surprise hit.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's good to get the surprise hits.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the late summer movies, because we're running into the late summer now.
Yeah. We only have a few more weeks before the summer is over, and we'll have to get on to our fall movies. Anyway, so join us next time for The Sixth Sense.